Question 22 asks students to assess the impact of a growing and ageing population on the health system and services. This question was worth 6 marks. Some key parts of this question that students would need to be aware of. First of all would be the key term being assess, the impact of a growing and ageing population on health system and services. So we're looking at the impact of a growing and ageing population in Australia on health system and services. And as said, this was worth 6 marks, this question. If we have a look straight away at our syllabus dot point, where it's come from. If we have a look here, right in the middle, it says a growing and ageing population. We have 4 areas which we need to be required in the answer from students with a bit of an explanation or in an assess. Healthy ageing, increased population living with chronic disease and disability, demand for health services and workforce shortages, and the availability of carers and volunteers. If we go across to the Learn 2, you'll notice that it says the actual question. Assess the impact of a growing and ageing population on, and the first one being the health system and services. That's exactly where this question has come from. If we go through and have a look at just an answer here that's been supplied. So we've got this one here which says, a growing and ageing population has a large effect on health systems and services. Due to improving technologies, Australia's population is living longer, meaning more of the population is in an older age bracket. This then means greater facilities and services are required in order to take care of this older population and care for them. So he's definitely on the right track as he started off. It's a very good start to his answer. An older population also means a greater tax is needed in order to pay for retirement packages and health facilities to care for the aged. Again, also correct. This also causes demand for health services and workforce shortages as there is insufficient workers to fulfil medical facilities. Then we get to our little dot point areas part here. Healthy ageing is one of the causes of a growing and ageing population and is due to improved medical facilities and services. An increased population living with chronic disease and illness requires much more care and facilities to cope with the age. Example, ageing homes and retirement homes. Demand on the health care services and workforce shortages is due to the increased care that is needed and increased workforce that is needed to run health facilities that care for the aged. The availability of volunteers and carers is due to the increased amount of retired people who wish to live at their own homes. This means that they may need carers to take care of them or require services such as Meals on Wheels. Therefore, from the information presented, it is evident that a growing and ageing population has a substantial impact on society as well as the health system and services. So that would be an answer there. Some of the biggest concerns that all students had when looking at this question was that they were unable to assess. All right, so students need to go through and be able to assess that little bit better than what they actually were able to do. When we look at the key word being assess, what that means is that students needed to be able to make a judgment of value. All right, something that was going to show their worth or their value they place on the growing and ageing population. And did students assess this question? No, they were unable to, and that's where most students lost their marks. Even look at this question here, this answer. This student's only really gotten a 5 out of 6, as we can see. Well done, a good answer though. I've actually circled this bottom part here, and I've actually written down the bottom, possibly a judgment, but appears to be more of a conclusion. So I don't really think he's gone through and made a judgment on the ageing population and the impact it has on the health system and services, but it's probably more along the lines of a conclusion. But this was the closest example to it that was seen throughout all the answers that were marked. Some of the key parts of this question, again, was that, just looking back at some of the marking, the syllabus content from all students was very, very good. Students had a very good understanding of the 4 dot points that were required in this answer. So that was outstanding. All right, that was a very, very good part to see. Some students got confused a little bit with healthy ageing and what this actually did mean. But again, as I've already mentioned, the biggest issue for this question, which all students struggled with, was that the students needed to assess. They needed to make a judgment about the impact of a growing and ageing population, and students weren't able to do that. What students were able to do was to go through and to give the 4 areas of the syllabus and show how they're going to impact on the health system and services due to a growing and ageing population, but were unable to actually assess. And that's what the question asked them to do, and that's what students need to do to get a 6 out of 6.